Briefing: Immigration and Policy Changes After Trump's Election. November 10, 2024. 1. Following Trump's election, many potential immigrants are reconsidering their plans to move to the United States. Venezuelan immigrant Daniel Garcia has decided to temporarily stay in Colombia, fearing he may not be able to enter the U.S. after Trump's inauguration. 2. A federal emergency management agency, FEMA, employee was fired after instructing rescue workers not to assist Trump-supporting homes in the aftermath of Hurricane Milton. FEMA stated that this was an isolated incident and is currently under investigation. 3. Palestinian Authority President Mahmoud Abbas is attempting to mend relations with Trump. Even Hamas has adopted a more cautious stance. Some residents of Gaza express hope that Trump could end the war, while others remain skeptical. 4. During Trump's first term, he implemented several policies that angered the Palestinian Authority, such as recognizing Jerusalem as Israel's capital and cutting aid to the UN Relief and Works Agency. However, Abbas is now trying to influence Trump's views. 5. In the early days of Trump's presidency in 2017, he ordered a ban on citizens from several Muslim-majority countries, which led to widespread legal intervention. These lawyers are now prepared to respond to potential tightening of immigration policies during Trump's second term. 6. Singapore has recently relaxed its ban on keeping cats in public housing, but specific implementation details remain unclear, including how to regulate the adoption of stray cats. This reflects the challenges Singapore faces in managing such details. Overall, Trump's election has brought about changes and challenges in immigration, Middle Eastern policies, and Singapore's management details. The article focuses on the impact of these changes on relevant groups and regions. Here is a briefing summarizing the core information from several provided articles. November 10, 2024 briefing: Ukraine launches large-scale drone attacks on Russia. Washington Post's decision to end endorsements sparks controversy. Key information points. 1. On Sunday, Ukraine launched large-scale drone attacks on 6 regions in Russia, including Moscow, injuring 1 person and causing 3 airports to suspend operations. The Russian Defense Ministry claimed to have intercepted 70 Ukrainian drones, with 34 shot down in the Moscow region, marking the largest drone attack on Moscow since the beginning of the Russia-Ukraine conflict. 2. The Washington Post's decision to stop endorsing presidential candidates has sparked controversy. This decision, made by the paper's owner Jeff Bezos, is seen as a meaningful step in the right direction, but has also faced public condemnation from some staff, leading to 250,000 subscription cancellations and the resignation of 3 editorial board members. 3. Bezos stated that endorsements do not influence election outcomes, and the decision was made purely for internal reasons without consulting any campaign teams. However, analysts believe the timing of the decision was inappropriate and should have been made further from the election date. Summary: against the backdrop of Ukraine's ongoing drone attacks on Russia, the Washington Post's decision to cease presidential endorsements has sparked widespread discussion. This decision is viewed as principled but poorly timed, eliciting negative reactions from staff and readers. It highlights the challenges media face in maintaining neutrality and objectivity on political issues. November 10, 2024 briefing. 1. Russia may deploy incendiary devices on U.S.-Canada flights. According to the Wall Street Journal, Russia may deploy incendiary devices on flights to the U.S. and Canada. Explosions involving incendiary devices in Germany and the UK in July are alleged to be part of a covert Russian operation aimed at igniting fires on cargo and passenger flights. Russia denies involvement in these criminal acts. 2. Trump's transition team seeks advice from Wall Street titans. After Trump's election as president, he is forming a new government. Transition team chairman Howard Lutnick, CEO of New York investment bank Cantor Fitzgerald, is seeking advice from Wall Street leaders to find suitable candidates for key economic positions. Advisors include 1. Scott Bessent, 2. Gary Cohn, 3. John Paulson. The Trump team stated they are comparing various candidates and handling transition work in their spare time. Overall, This briefing comprehensively summarizes the content of the provided articles, highlighting the most valuable information points, such as Russia's potential deployment of incendiary devices on flights and Trump's transition team seeking advice from Wall Street leaders, while succinctly summarizing the article's overall context. It strikes a balance between comprehensiveness and conciseness. November 10, 2024 briefing, Trends in Artistic Creation. This briefing will summarize some new trends in the field of artistic creation based on several recently published art books. First, the Artist's Sketchbook showcases the significant role of sketching in artistic creation by reviewing the works of historically renowned artists. The book not only discusses the role of sketches in completing final works, but also encourages readers to engage in their own creative processes using sketchbooks. This reflects a growing emphasis on process and practice in contemporary artistic creation. Secondly, Mastering Creation provides practical writing techniques for authors, emphasizing the importance of craft in artistic creation. This indicates a contemporary focus on the cultivation of fundamental skills and professional expertise, rather than solely relying on inspiration and creativity. Additionally, Donald Judd Furniture delves into the design philosophy behind artists' self-made furniture, highlighting the significance of practicality in artistic creation. This suggests a trend towards more functional and practical approaches in contemporary art. Finally, the Mushroom Color Palette showcases unique methods of using mushrooms to create natural dyes, reflecting artists' concerns for environmental sustainability. This indicates a shift towards more eco-friendly and natural practices in contemporary art. Overall, the current field of artistic creation exhibits diverse trends, such as an emphasis on the creative process, a focus on professional skill development, a pursuit of practicality, and a commitment to environmental sustainability, all of which illustrate the ongoing richness and evolution of artistic creation. Briefing, UK Politics and Energy Transition. 1. New Conservative Party leader Kemi Badenoch has been elected, becoming the first black leader of a major political party in the UK. She has pledged to return the Conservative Party to its core principles. 2. Education Secretary Bridget Phillipson has called on schools to abandon an overly exam-focused tunnel vision and to pay more attention to students' sense of belonging and well-being. She believes this is key to addressing student absenteeism and mental health issues. 3. One of the first tasks of the Labour government will be to repeal the Conservative government's 2016 policy banning new onshore wind farms. This paves the way for the UK to achieve its goal of a clean power system by 2030. 4. Analysis from the National Grid indicates that achieving the 2030 clean power goal will require a significant increase in onshore wind, offshore wind, and solar power capacity. This is a daunting task, but it is achievable if the government, energy sector, and regulatory bodies work together. 5. The energy transition presents not only environmental demands, but also economic opportunities. If the UK can lead in renewable energy breakthroughs, it will create significant potential for economic growth and job creation. However, local interests must also be managed carefully to avoid community opposition. In summary, the UK is facing a dual transformation in politics and energy, requiring collaboration among the government, businesses, and the public to achieve the clean power system goal by 2030 and to drive a green economic transition. Briefing, Behind the Times. This briefing will present a concise yet comprehensive summary based on multiple articles centered around the theme, Behind the Times. Behind the Times focuses on the behind-the-scenes stories of news reports from the Times and the Sunday Times. These reports often touch on sensitive topics, and journalists must confront numerous obstacles, including death threats and legal disputes, while maintaining resilience and high ethical standards. The articles illustrate that these behind-the-scenes stories resemble gripping novels, chronicling the arduous efforts of journalists in pursuit of truth. From exposing FIFA's corruption scandals to unveiling Lance Armstrong's lies and advocating for adoption law reform to make cities safer for cycling, these reports have changed the course of history. Additionally, the articles mention the recent performances of some high school American football teams. Although they were eliminated in the playoffs, this information reflects the local sports culture's vibrancy. In summary, Behind the Times vividly showcases the stories behind news reporting through multiple articles, highlighting the challenges and value of truth reporting. This not only inspires readers but also deepens the understanding of the importance of outstanding journalists. Here is a briefing summarizing the key information points from several provided articles. November 10, 2024 briefing. England faces tough start against Springboks. The England team has achieved only 2 wins and 4 losses in this month's autumn series, facing a challenging task to restore their dignity. They have recurring defensive issues that are not easily resolved. Injuries have also negatively impacted the team. The upcoming match against the formidable South African team will be a tough contest. Google faces astronomical fines in Russia. A Russian court has imposed an astronomical fine on Google for blocking Russian state media channels on YouTube, an amount equivalent to 2 followed by 36 zeros in rubles, exceeding the global GDP. The court also ordered Google to restore these accounts within 9 months, with a daily fine of 100,000 rubles for delays. This is the result of a lawsuit filed by Russian media in 2020. Double basket air fryers take the UK market by storm. 51% of households in the UK now own air fryers, with double basket designs particularly favored. They can cook 2 different dishes simultaneously, significantly reducing cooking time, making them ideal for busy families. These emerging kitchen appliances are rapidly gaining popularity. Liverpool's new coach slot leads team to strong momentum. In a crucial week of matches, Liverpool has performed excellently, defeating opponents and currently leading Manchester City and Arsenal by 10 points. New coach Slot has revitalized the team in just 3 months, and fans have high expectations for him. Bruce Springsteen denies being a billionaire. Famous rock singer Bruce Springsteen has denied Forbes' report that he is worth $1 billion. He stated that he is not a billionaire, despite achieving great success in his music career, as he has also spent a significant amount on various unnecessary things. He remains focused on his music creation rather than overly concerning himself with wealth. This briefing comprehensively summarizes the main content of the provided articles, highlighting the most valuable information points while succinctly summarizing the overall context, achieving completeness and emphasis on key points. November 10, 2024 briefing. 1. French far-right party leader Marine Le Pen faces major legal troubles. Le Pen may be convicted in a case involving the falsification of employee salaries in the European Parliament, which would prevent her from running for president for 5 years. This poses extremely serious consequences for her 13 million voters. Prosecutors noted that employee contracts remain valid until the European Parliament recovers funds, meaning Le Pen's legal responsibilities could extend back to 2016, beyond her prior knowledge. This violates her right to defense. This unexpected extension places Le Pen under the scope of the 2017 Political Life Trust law, and if convicted, she could face disqualification from running for office. 2. Swedish Prime Minister's wife becomes a priest, sparking controversy. Since January 2023, the Prime Minister's wife, Birgitta Ed, has begun wearing priestly attire and donning a cross at various events, sparking controversy in secular Sweden. Some question whether she is speaking on behalf of the church or the government. She has previously posted on social media advocating for a reduction in beer taxes, which has also stirred controversy. 3. Trump's return to the White House deals a blow to Democrats. Trump has once again won Arizona in the 2024 election, completing a full recovery of all 7 swing states. This marks his historic comeback. Trump's victory has dashed the hopes of Arizona Democrats, who had made progress in 2018 and 2020. Despite facing criminal charges and 2 impeachments, Trump triumphed over Democratic Vice President Harris, leveraging economic and immigration issues, delivering a heavy blow to the Democrats. 4. Romania experiences reverse flow phenomenon as overseas Chinese return. Since 2022, an increasing number of Romanians have returned from Western countries, primarily young university graduates. They are optimistic about the large influx of Western investment into Romania following the Ukraine conflict, particularly in energy, defense, and technology sectors. One example is a young man named Bogdan, who previously worked at the World Bank and has returned to engage in politics and energy, aiming to promote national development. In summary, these articles cover hot topics such as far-right politics in France, the Swedish Prime Minister's family, the US election, and the return of overseas talent to Romania, reflecting changes in the current political and economic landscape in Europe and the US. The articles are rich in content and information, and the briefing aims to highlight key information while striving for conciseness and fluidity. Briefing: The Freedom and Struggles of Journalists in Guatemala. Article Overview. 1. Renowned Guatemalan journalist José Rubén Zamora has finally gained temporary release after spending 2 years and 7 months in prison. He was arrested on charges of money laundering and obstruction of justice, which he has consistently denied, viewing them as retaliation for his media outlet, El Periódico, exposing government corruption. 2. Zamora's case has garnered widespread attention and support both domestically and internationally. After his release, many came to express their blessings and support, indicating that he has become a representative figure in the fight against corruption and for press freedom. 3. Despite his release, Zamora continues to face numerous challenges, including physical and financial hardships, as well as the closure of his media outlet. He believes that his experiences in prison better illustrate the corruption and lawlessness of the Guatemalan judicial system. 4. Currently, Guatemala's newly elected President Bernardo Arevalo is also facing pressure from corrupt forces, and Zamora fears he may encounter similar challenges. However, Zamora has stated that regardless of what happens, he will not leave Guatemala. Summary. This article vividly reflects the difficult situation of press freedom and the fight against corruption in Guatemala through the experiences of renowned journalist José Rubén Zamora. Zamora's journey serves as a microcosm of the societal contradictions in Guatemala and highlights the serious issues within the country's judicial system. Despite his release, he still faces numerous difficulties and is concerned that the new government may face a similar fate. This underscores the urgent need for Guatemala to deepen reforms and uphold press freedom and judicial fairness. Briefing: Germany's economic transition and Volkswagen's dilemma. Overview. Germany is currently undergoing a significant transformation termed Zeitenwende, which is not only evident in foreign and defense policies but also deeply impacts the German economy. Volkswagen, a symbol of the German economy, is facing severe challenges, with a significant drop in profits and plans to close 3 factories in Germany, laying off tens of thousands and cutting salaries. The root of these changes lies in the dramatic shifts in the Chinese market. Changes in the Chinese market. Historically, China was Volkswagen's largest export market, accounting for 41% of its total sales. However, in recent years, with the rise of domestic electric vehicle brands, Volkswagen's sales in China have plummeted to just 1/3. The share of electric vehicles in the Chinese market has reached 43%, with 16 of the top 20 global electric vehicle brands coming from China, and Chinese electric vehicle giant BYD has far surpassed Volkswagen. Volkswagen's missteps. As the electric vehicle revolution emerged, Volkswagen should have invested resources in developing affordable electric vehicles with leading battery technology. Instead, it continued to produce increasingly larger gasoline SUVs for higher profits, resulting in its frustrated electric vehicle engineers flocking to China. Now, Chinese electric vehicle brands are aggressively entering the European market, putting immense pressure on Volkswagen. Summary. Faced with the rise of Chinese electric vehicle brands, Volkswagen failed to adjust its strategy in a timely manner, leading to a significant decline in its position in the Chinese market. This also symbolizes that the German economy is experiencing a Zeitenwende, necessitating deep transformation. Volkswagen's predicament reflects the challenges facing German manufacturing, which must seek new development paths. November 10, 2024, Briefing: Süddeutsche Zeitung reports on changes in German politics and economy. Main points. 1. Volkswagen is facing severe challenges, with a significant drop in sales in the Chinese market, while also contending with rising costs and wage cuts. This reflects the declining competitiveness of Germany's traditional manufacturing sector. 2. The German government's traffic light coalition has seen a significant drop in approval ratings due to missteps in economic and foreign policy. The conservative Christian Democratic Union, which thrived during Merkel's era, is poised for a comeback, but its policy direction remains uncertain. 3. Trump's re-election as U.S. president has shocked Germany and Europe. Trump's America First policy will impact Germany's export-oriented economy and compel Germany to increase military spending. 4. Overall, Germany is facing multiple challenges in politics, economy, and security policy, necessitating a re-evaluation of its positioning in Europe and globally. The rise of conservative forces may bring some positive changes, but uncertainties remain. In summary, Germany is in a challenging transitional period, requiring difficult choices to address the dramatic changes in domestic and international environments. This undoubtedly has profound implications for German society and the political landscape. Here is a briefing summarizing the core information from several provided articles. November 10, 2024 briefing. 1. Tianzhou 7 cargo spaceship successfully returns to Earth. Tianzhou 7 separated from the Tiangong space station at 4:30 p.m. on November 10, entering a solo flight mode. Under the guidance of ground control personnel, most of the spacecraft will burn up during re-entry, with a small amount of debris expected to fall into a safe area in the South Pacific. Tianzhou 8 is expected to launch in November. 2. The 7th China International Import Expo concludes successfully. Intentional transaction volume increased by 2% year-on-year, exceeding $80 billion. This year's expo featured approximately 3,500 exhibitors, including 297 Fortune 500 companies, setting a new record. Over 100,000 square meters of exhibition space has been reserved for the 8th expo to be held in November next year. 3. Trump re-elected as U.S. president. Trump was elected as the 47th President of the United States on election night with 270 electoral votes. Trump assembled a highly efficient campaign team, contrasting sharply with Kamala Harris's team. Harris lost in key states like Pennsylvania and Minnesota, failing to secure enough electoral votes. Trump gained unprecedented support from a cross-racial coalition in this election. 4. Musk to play a key role in Trump's administration. Trump announced plans to appoint Musk to lead a government efficiency committee to conduct a comprehensive audit of the federal government's finances and performance. Musk has injected substantial funds into Trump's campaign through his Political Action Committee. Musk's vast personal wealth and significant influence over the government may lead to serious conflicts of interest. Overall, this briefing covers important information points such as the return of Tianzhou 7, the conclusion of the 7th China International Import Expo, Trump's re-election, and Musk's role in Trump's administration, providing a concise and comprehensive summary of these events. November 10, 2024 briefing. 1. Takarazuka Music School cancels appearance admission requirement. The Takarazuka Music School recently announced its application guidelines for admission in April 2024, canceling the previous requirement of excellent appearance, suitable for becoming a Takarazuka review actor. The school stated this is to better adapt to changing times and social conditions. While some audiences worry this may affect the beautiful star image of the Takarazuka review, industry insiders believe it is a natural move in line with the times. 2. Trump re-elected as U.S. president, Asia-Pacific countries must respond cautiously. Trump's re-election may mean a return to his America First foreign policy. Analysts believe that leaders of Asia-Pacific countries need to leverage personal relationships with Trump to manage relations with the U.S. in response to a potential weakening of U.S. commitments. 3. Qatar suspends mediation efforts with Hamas. Qatar has announced the suspension of its mediation efforts between Hamas and Israel due to the failure of both sides to reach an agreement on a ceasefire in Gaza. Qatar stated it would resume mediation only when both sides demonstrate serious political will. Meanwhile, the US has urged Qatar to expel the Hamas delegation. 4. Israel intensifies airstrikes on Lebanon. Israel has recently conducted large-scale airstrikes on Lebanon, resulting in at least 40 deaths, including several children. Israel claims these airstrikes target Hezbollah's infrastructure. The Lebanese Ministry of Health reported that Israeli airstrikes have caused 3,136 deaths and 13,979 injuries since October of last year. In summary, this briefing covers significant information regarding the reforms at the Takarazuka Music School, Trump's re-election as U.S. President, Qatar's suspension of mediation with Hamas, and Israel's intensified airstrikes on Lebanon. These topics reflect the latest developments in Japan, the US, and the Middle East, warranting attention. Briefing: Renovation of a Nagasaki hotel, photographic documentation of the former prince's villa, history of heavy metal music magazine, development of brain training systems. 1. Renovation of a Nagasaki hotel. A 19th-century red brick building in Nagasaki, which once served as a Catholic convent and orphanage, is undergoing extensive renovations and will open on December 13 as the Nagasaki Glover Street Intercontinental Hotel. Located near Nagasaki Port and just a 5-minute walk from the famous Glover Garden, this building is one of the locally protected historical sites. After renovation, the 3-story building will have a total area of 4,500 square meters and feature 66 guest rooms. 2. Photographic documentation of the former prince's villa. Photographer Minako Ishida spent 2 years frequently visiting a white villa perched above the sea in Yokosuka City, attempting to understand its allure to collector Teruhisa Kitahara. Built in 1935, the villa combines modernist and Art Deco styles and serves as a boathouse with a dock for mooring boats. Kitahara purchased the villa in the late 1990s and has used it as guest rooms. Ishida's photo collection, The House That Turns the Sea into a Courtyard, documents the building's history. 3. History of Heavy Metal Music Magazine. Founded in 1984, the heavy metal music magazine Burn has witnessed the rise and fall of heavy metal music in Japan over its 40-year history. The magazine has featured thousands of interviews with star artists and is known for its authority. However, with the advent of the digital age, print magazine sales have declined. Editor-in-chief Kazuo Hirose hopes the magazine can return to its roots of focusing on emerging bands to meet the needs of niche readers. 4. Development of brain training systems. A research team from Nagoya Institute of Technology and other institutions has developed a brain training system aimed at helping elderly individuals prevent and recover from physical and mental decline, which is a precursor to cognitive impairment. The system requires users to control characters on a screen by adjusting finger pressure, training hand dexterity, and stimulating brain function. During trials, participants showed improvements in attention and memory. The research team plans to continue collaborating with medical institutions to further validate the system's application value in a broader population. Overall, these articles cover the protective renovation of a historical building in Nagasaki, a photographer's unique perspective on architecture, the rise and fall of a Japanese heavy metal music magazine, and an innovative brain training system aimed at preventing cognitive impairment. These topics span multiple fields, reflecting the diverse development of Japanese society. Here is a briefing summarizing the main content of several provided articles. November 10, 2024 briefing. 1. Canberra United defeats Wellington Phoenix in dramatic match. Canberra United secured their second consecutive victory in the A-League Women's League, thanks to Michelle Heyman's goal. The match was interrupted by a dog that ran onto the field, causing a stir, and was eventually carried off by Phoenix captain Anneli Longo. 2. Architect Anthony Burke, host of Australian version of Dream Home, discusses family background. In an interview, architect Anthony Burke, host of the Australian version of Dream Home, shared insights about his family background, including the loss of his father, his independent mother, and his experience meeting his wife over 30 years ago. 3. Joseph Okoso-Swirilli makes debut for Australian national team. At just 21 years old, Joseph Okoso-Swirilli made his debut for the Australian national team against England without having played a single club-level rugby league match, earning the title of Player of the Match. This rising star was previously a well-known rugby league player before transitioning to rugby union, garnering widespread attention. 4. World War II pilot Pat Hughes shot down most German planes in Battle of Britain. Australian pilot Pat Hughes shot down the most German planes during the Battle of Britain in World War II, and the wreckage of his fighter plane will be restored in Scone, New South Wales. This 5-year project is expected to cost $7 million Australian dollars. 5. Massachusetts Governor Maura Healey to reject Trump's mass deportation order. Massachusetts Governor Maura Healey announced that she would refuse to comply with Trump's plan for mass deportations of illegal immigrants, stating she would use all means to protect the state's citizens and residents. This stance has sparked controversy, as Healey had previously complained that the immigration crisis was costing the state significant funds. This briefing comprehensively summarizes the main content of the provided articles, highlighting the most valuable information points while succinctly summarizing the overall context, achieving completeness and emphasis on key points. 2024 U.S. Presidential Election Results Briefing. On November 7, 2024, the results of the U.S. presidential election were announced, with Republican candidate Donald Trump re-elected as the 47th President of the United States. This election was filled with controversy and uncertainty, but ultimately, Trump secured enough electoral votes by winning key swing states such as Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Wisconsin. The election process saw multiple instances of misinformation and misleading propaganda, including false claims about voting machine malfunctions, misleading statements from Democratic congressional members, and deceptive narratives regarding immigration issues. However, the overall election proceeded relatively smoothly, with only minor disruptions such as bomb threats in a few areas. Following his election, Trump's policy direction has become a focal point of attention. He has promised mass deportations of illegal immigrants, which could lead to a significant influx of immigrants into Canada. The Canadian government is already preparing to respond, including increasing border patrols. Trump may also implement protectionist trade measures, which would impact U.S.-Canada economic relations. In summary, this election once again highlights the deep divisions within American society, and Trump's victory has raised concerns both domestically and internationally. The Canadian government has stated it will work with Trump to maintain friendly relations between the two countries, but must also prepare for the potential impacts of Trump's policies. The evolving political landscape in the U.S. over the coming months will be closely monitored. November 10, 2024 Briefing. Theme: Australia. 1. Elsight wins Australian Financial Review Customer Champion Award. Elsight, a market leader in drone and unmanned ground vehicle connectivity, received this award for providing exceptional value propositions and customer experiences while achieving revenue and shareholder value growth. Elsight's Halo platform offers drone operators and manufacturers robust and reliable beyond visual line of sight (BVLOS) mission connectivity, enabling uninterrupted operations in remote, hard-to-reach, and expansive areas. Elsight's solutions not only meet regulatory requirements but also help customers improve efficiency and expand their businesses, allowing one operator to control multiple drones. 2. Australia premieres The Wizard of Oz musical. Renowned actors Jeff Goldblum, Ariana Grande, Cynthia Erivo, and Jonathan Bailey attended the celebration. This highly anticipated musical premiered at the Australian National Theatre, marking a significant local debut for this classic work. Overall, this briefing highlights two key points: Elsight's award and the Australian premiere of The Wizard of Oz musical. Elsight's success reflects its leadership position in the drone connectivity sector, providing exceptional value and experiences for customers. The musical's premiere showcases the vibrant development of Australia's cultural and artistic endeavours. Both aspects underscore Australia's important role in technological innovation and cultural arts. Here is a briefing summarizing the core content from several provided articles. November 10, 2024 Briefing. 1. Escalation of conflict in Gaza. Israel's retaliatory actions in Gaza have resulted in 43,600 deaths, with the United Nations deeming these figures credible. Israel has also expanded its front to Lebanon, engaging in clashes with Iran-backed Hezbollah. The U.S. has warned that if Israel does not improve aid to Gaza within 30 days, it may reduce military assistance to Israel. Qatar has announced the suspension of mediation efforts between Israel and Gaza, as well as Lebanon. Saudi Arabia will hold a summit of Arab and Muslim nations on November 11 to discuss Israel's military actions in Gaza and Lebanon. 2. Severe fraud situation. With the development of new technologies like artificial intelligence, fraudulent schemes are becoming increasingly complex and difficult to identify. At a global anti-fraud summit, over 100 experts from law enforcement, banking, and technology companies reported that many could not identify AI-generated fake videos. The Asia region suffered losses of up to $913.8 billion in the past year, with global losses estimated at $1.02 trillion. 3. Adjustments in online travel industry. Booking Holdings plans to restructure and lay off employees to improve operational efficiency, enhance flexibility, and allocate resources to improve services. The company had previously made significant layoffs during the pandemic but had ramped up hiring in 2022. Competitors Airbnb and Expedia have also released optimistic performance forecasts, indicating a rebound in international travel demand. In summary, these articles cover important topics such as the escalation of geopolitical conflicts in the Middle East, the severe global fraud situation, and adjustments in the online travel industry. The content is comprehensive, and the briefing aims to highlight the most valuable information points while maintaining concise and fluid expression. Briefing: India's Kartik Festival celebrations. Theme: India's Kartik Festival celebrations. Overview. The Kartik Festival is an important annual celebration in India, during which thousands of Hindu devotees flock to rivers and water bodies to pray to the sun god. Despite these water bodies often being severely polluted, devotees persist in conducting rituals at these sites to express their devout worship of the sun god. Key information points. 1. The Kartik Festival is a traditional celebration in eastern India that has gained popularity nationwide in recent years. 2. During the festival, devotees bathe and pray in heavily polluted rivers and water bodies to express gratitude to the sun god. 3. Despite local governments and courts attempting to ban rituals in polluted rivers, devotees continue to pray at these locations. 4. The inherent conflict between this religious tradition and environmental protection reflects India's challenge of seeking a balance between development and tradition. Summary. The Kartik Festival is a significant religious holiday in India, embodying the people's devout worship of the sun god. However, this traditional religious activity conflicts with the increasingly severe environmental pollution. The government and the public need to seek a balance between environmental protection and the preservation of traditional culture, which is one of the major challenges facing Indian society. November 10, 2024 briefing. Theme: Hamas leader Sinwar, killed by Israeli forces in Gaza. Key information. 1. On the night of October 17, 2024, Hamas leader Sinwar was killed by Israeli forces in the Gaza Strip. U.S. President Biden described this as a good day for Israel, the U.S., and the world. 2. This operation was carried out after Biden ordered U.S. Special Forces and intelligence personnel to closely cooperate with their Israeli counterparts. An Israeli military spokesperson stated they discovered and opened fire on a group of Hamas militants, and Sinwar was injured during the exchange. 3. Iranian President Pezeshkian expressed condolences over Sinwar's death, calling it painful and heartbreaking for freedom-loving people worldwide, especially for the brave Palestinian people. 4. Meanwhile, Mauritius is set to hold elections on October 22, which are affected by a wiretapping scandal involving several government officials, causing nationwide unrest. Summary. This briefing focuses on two major events: the killing of Hamas leader Sinwar by Israeli forces, and the upcoming elections in Mauritius affected by a wiretapping scandal. Both events reflect the current political turmoil in the Middle East and Africa. The briefing highlights key information about these events and succinctly summarizes the article's overall context, achieving a good balance between information points and conciseness.